2 weeks ago, we did a house clearance in Portugal where we went into an house. It was this deep in Newcastle brown balls. We cleared the whole house out for a fellow who'd been released. That sounds awful. A very nice property, the kind of property you wouldn't expect somebody with these difficulties to be living in. He came to our attention because he was about to be released from prison and he was going back into the same situation that he'd left essentially. His family was worried about him, so we were asked to go in and do a little bit of work just to clear the mess out of the house, which we did. We got there and the house was in a state of disrepair, let's put it that way. So we spent a day just clearing the place out so it was semi-habitable for him when he came out. In total we removed 3 tipper vans worth of rubbish. It was mostly plastic cider bottles and Newcastle brown balls. I'm surprised he hasn't set fire to the house, frankly. No doubt we'll go back in 3 weeks' time and the house will be that deep in Newcastle brown balls again. But this is what we do. So aside from being a stronger communities officer, working for DMBC, I'm also an Army Reservist. I am currently Squadron Sergeant Major at 209 Squadron at Bowlby at Scarborough Barracks. 209 Squadron being Doncaster's longest established military unit. We've had a presence in Doncaster for an awfully long time. My role there as Sergeant Major, I deal with security and discipline. If there's any issues that need dealing with, I deal with them. But my actual trade within the Army Reserve is a driver within the Royal Logistic Corps, the RLC as it's known. So we are all HGV drivers. Essentially, if you want to break it down into civvy terms, most of the troops within my unit hold a C+E licence, so they can drive anything up to articulated wagons. Most of them have also got a hazmat licence, so they can carry hazardous materials, whether that be explosives, petrols, chemicals, anything you might consider to be hazardous, really. That is our job within the reserve. Within my unit as well, we've also got chefs who are trained to a very high standard, although you won't believe it with some of the food they produce sometimes. We've got HR people, so people that work in the office, making sure the troops get paid, making sure everything's in order. We also have comms specialists, radio operators, medics. We've got medics attached to us, Royal Army Medical Corps guys who'll come out with us on exercise. The Army Reserve itself is just part of the reserve forces, as you would expect. All of the regular forces have got a reserve element, whether that be the Navy, the RAF, the Royal Marines or the Army, which I'm part of. As part of my training, I've been all over the place. I can only speak for myself, but in recent times we went to Cyprus last year for our annual continuation training exercise, which is 2 weeks or 15 days that we have to deploy every year, alongside the other training that we do. So in Cyprus last year, previously I've been to Denmark, Gibraltar, Germany, Poland, Falkland Islands, Canada. Spent 9 months in Canada working alongside the Royal Engineers. That's another option for reserve people that can get attachments to regular units at home and overseas. The commitment to the reserves is a minimum of 27 days, of which 15 should be out of camp. So we do this 2-week annual deployment exercise every year, or you could do a promotion course, because with the promotion structure in the reserve forces is exactly the same as it is within the regular army. So in order to advance yourself in terms of promotions, you have to go on course and get yourself qualified. So people go on qualification courses, promotion courses, trade courses. So if people want to go off and learn to drive an Arctic, they can go off and do that, or they can go off and learn how to drive a fork truck, or the chefs can go off and do advanced cooking or field cooking. HR people can go off and learn advanced computer skills or advanced admin skills. The radio operators can do radio operator courses. The medics the same. Medics will come in as a combat medic 3 and they'll advance up the chain until they are combat medic technician 1 trained. So they're always gaining experience, gaining qualifications, and most of the qualifications that we earn in the reserves are directly transferable into civilian qualifications as well. So we can get qualifications from the Institute of Chartered Leadership and Management. All the HGV licences is an HGV licence, not just things a military one or a civilian one. So they are all civilian qualifications as well. The medics can change their qualifications from medical things into city and guilds or medical qualifications. What made me join the reserves? Well, I can give you the book answer, or I can give you an honest answer. My dad was a staff sergeant at 219 Squadron. When I was growing up, I took my first steps as a toddler, 18 months old, within what is now the junior ranks mess at Scarborough Barracks. So essentially there's a long family history. My brother came out of the regular army and he joined 219 Squadron just before I was due to join. So I ended up there. I'd never had any intention of staying in the reserves. My long-term intention was to join the regular army, but it just never happened. At the age of 20, on my actual 20th birthday, I was attested into the reserve forces at 219 Squadron, and that's where I've been ever since. A typical training weekend for us, as I say, we go in on our drill nights on a Wednesday night, so we're going on Wednesday night, sort all the wagons out on a Wednesday night, people draw their kit out of the stores, get it all prepped, this kind of thing. We come in on the Friday night, allocate troops to seats, seats in the wagons, as you would expect. Draw out weapons, and then we're pretty much out the door to wherever we're going. The opportunity for travel and for sport within the Army Reserve is just unbelievable. There is no sort of difference now between what a regular soldier can do and what a reservist can do. If you've got a supporting employer, as I have working for DMBC, the opportunities are absolutely endless. There's a real misconception, I think, amongst the public that the reservists also don't get paid. We do get paid. There is a starting rate of pay for a private within the Army Reserve, which is roughly matched by the lowest junior rank within all the other reserve forces. And this, as you advance up the promotion ladder, there is a pay increase as you go up it. So, as an example, I started when I first joined all them hundreds of years ago. I think I was on about £22 a day in 1995. As a private, I'm now a warrant officer class 2, squadron sergeant major, and my daily rate of pay is £106 and something. So for every day that I attend the reserves, I get paid £106. Granted, it's less tax and national insurance, but that's how it is, and that's the same across the entire board. So if you were to join as an airman in the RF Reserve and work your way up to a flight officer or whatever, the pay would always increase as you're going up the way. So as an example, I get my council pay for being away, and I also get the additional army pay on top of that. Some people don't. I'm very fortunate that I do. Every time I deploy in a weekend, we get this pay as well. Something I didn't say earlier on, all the qualifications that we do, the HGV licences, the hazmat licence, the fork truck licence, all the adventure training, all the sporting activities and all the rest of it, they're all paid for, and you get paid for doing them. So as an example, 5 years ago I went on a battlefield survey to the Falkland Islands. I was there for a week, and everything whilst we were there was paid for. The only thing I had to pay for was a meal that we had out in Port Stanley whilst we were there. 2 years ago I went on another battlefield study tour to Gallipoli in Turkey. Again, we got paid for being there, and it was all paid for us. So these are things that, as a civilian, you can go to Gallipoli, granted, and you can go to the Falklands, but it's going to cost you an awful lot of money. Whereas, because of our service in the Army Reserve, it was all paid for us, and it was a lot easier for us to do it. Likewise, we've had troops in Belgium and France commemorating the 100th anniversary of the end of the First War. We've got some people going across to Normandy today, in fact, for the 75th anniversary of D-Day. They are there working, granted, but they're being paid to be there, and they'll also see all the commemorations and all the rest of it. So I can't emphasise this enough, how worthwhile being a reservist is in any of the forces. You don't have to be an army reservist. If fighting trees, driving trucks isn't your thing, go and join the RAF and they'll teach you how to fix aeroplanes, or join the Navy Reserve and they'll teach you how to fix ships or drive ships, or whatever you do with ships. I'm not sure what you do with ships, I don't know if you drive them or not. I understand why there aren't more people in the reserve forces. I understand it's a commitment, it's a massive commitment. I appreciate people's working patterns have changed. A lot of people now don't work a Monday to Friday 9 till 5 job, so the weekends a lot of people are working, but the advantages of being a reserve forces individual, whether that be in the Army Reserve, the Navy, the Royal Marines Reserve, or the RAF, I think far outweigh the commitment that you have to put into it. It's 15 days, yes. We also have to do an additional 12 days training, which is usually at weekends. Sometimes we have to do a drill night through the week, which is a Wednesday night for us. So that's 2 hours there. But the opportunities, certainly in terms of sport, travel, adventurous training, far outweigh the commitment that we have to put into being a reservist.